I watched over 260 Sidemen Sundays across the past 3 months, and in my opinion, these are the worst out of all of them. My name is Pop Cultured, and today I present the worst Sidemen Sundays of all time. This is video 1 of a 2-video series. The next video will be uploaded next week, but with all that out of the way, these are the videos that are not eligible for this list, and let's get into it. Please like and subscribe. You need to remember that this is just my opinion, but with that out of the way, the worst Sidemen Sunday of all time is Sidemen react to old videos too. Even with the quality of the earlier Sidemen Sundays, the fact that they thought that this would work again is quite frankly an insult to everyone who waited a whole week just to see this video. And the second one is my first controversial pick. It's a group of videos that I hate when the Sidemen make, and that is every single hide and seek in existence. They are all the exact same video, and I will never understand why they get so many views. All of these videos can be summed up as it's hide and seek but blank. It's hide and seek but in a dungeon. It's hide and seek but on a $20 million cruise ship. And even when they try and introduce new concepts into it, it always is the same boring loop that quite frankly I am sick of. The fact hide and seek Europe bombed so hard and is now still one of the least viewed Sidemen Sundays of all time is proof in itself that the concept is dying. After that, we have the Sidemen react to teens react to the Sidemen, which at this stage is just a reminder of Sidemen reacts and how much better the Sidemen are at creating content and reacting to videos and things like that. Even if it's on a daily basis, I would take that over this video any day. After that, we have Sidemen donate $10,000 to Twitch streamers, which is basically them jumping on the Mr. Beast wave that was happening at the time. Also, Point Crow is here, one of Twitch's biggest streamers. I just find that funny. After that, we have the Sidemen strength test. This was in Miniminter's bracket for the worst Sidemen Sundays of all time because there is no content in this video and it is one of the most boring watches in their entire catalog. After this, we have the giant inflatable slip and slide challenge, a video shoot that fell through, which again, in my eyes, why didn't you just strip it down and make a much simpler talking video? We always like the content of seeing the Sidemen talking to each other. If you knew that the weather was not going to be good for this shoot, why didn't you just cancel it and get us something else? That's my thought on it. After this, we have a group of 5 that I categorize as could have been more Sidemen videos. React to old vids 1, answer the most searched Google questions, extreme mini golf, how well do the Sidemen know each other, and pumpkin carving. Pumpkin carving at least has a few moments over the past 4, but even then, these are videos that could very easily be on more Sidemen these days and no one would care about them. And finally, we've reached it. The consensus worst Sidemen Sunday of all time is not the worst on my list, and that is Sidemen Winter Olympics. I understand that this video is boring. It's not funny in any way, but at least it's under 20 minutes and it just moves on. Really, that's all I'm really caring about. It's not wasting my time, so I can't be asked with it. After this, we have 2 calorie challenges, which are in my opinion the worst calorie challenges they've ever done. It's eat 70,000 calories in 24 hours, the first one, and the 100,000 calories in US, which is honestly one of the hardest to follow videos of all time. Harry did his challenge in 3 days. There are 2 groups across the US otherwise, and it's just one of the most shoddily edited together Sidemen Sundays. Like, you can't follow any of the challenges throughout this entire video, and it makes it such an infuriating watch. After that, we have Sidemen Guess the Millionaire. This is another video and another type of video that the Sidemen themselves have come out and said that they hate making. And I understand why. Because this is a horrible watch. 50 minutes of absolutely nothing. These are bad Jubilee videos. And that's as someone who hates that channel. After that, we have the Sidemen Extreme Cook-Off, an infamous Sidemen Sunday for just everything going wrong. And yeah, when the Sidemen do chaos well, it is the funniest thing. But when that chaos implodes on each other, it's just so hard to watch. Phil is bad, the guests are bad, even Nico's trying. It's just one of the most unfun watches I have ever had throughout this entire 3-month experience. After that, we have Sidemen complete this challenge, win $10,000. Raise your hands if you forgot this Sidemen Sunday existed. I thought so. After this, we have the World Cup Wipeout Challenge and absolutely nothing Sidemen Sunday. That's all I'm going to say about it. Then we have the Extreme Forfeit Sidemen Quiz. I'm going to just try and find new ways for saying basic and nothing at this stage. I guess JME is funny. That's about it. Then we have the Try Not to Laugh with Jack Whitehall. This is the first collab on the Sidemen channel. And yeah, as a fan of Jack Whitehall, I'm disappointed in this video. It's not nearly as funny as the Helium Challenge, which is obviously trying to be. And it's just a very nothing watch. After that, we have How Hard Can the Sidemen Punch? I cannot believe this is one of the most popular Sidemen Sundays. Because this is again jumping on that whole YouTube boxing wave, but with no content to show for it. Then we have the most weight gained in 24 hours challenge. Other than Harry and Guernsey, there's nothing really to this video. Then we have the Carpool diss track karaoke, which is honestly this high purely because of Harry's diss track at the end. Skip to that part. The rest is some of the most defo miss content the Sidemen have ever made. Then we have Explore Haunted Tunnels, another Sidemen Sunday I'm so surprised to see ranked as one of their most popular, despite the fact that this is them jumping on Shane Dawson and Joe Weller. Are you kidding me? At this time in KSI's career, you're gonna make a worse video than Joe Weller. It's honestly infuriating to watch. And similar to Guess the Millionaire, we now have Guess the Fake Couple. That is also a really bad Jubilee video, but at least it's not as offensive as the Guess the Millionaire video. After that, we have Sidemen Crystal Maze. It was hard to watch. Obviously, it was the COVID-19 pandemic time around this, just coming out of it. The host is okay. Otherwise, there's nothing to this video. Then we have Sidemen Mukbang on a Bus. I'm surprised not as many mukbangs are as low as this one. But God, there's nothing to this video. The fact that there's 2 clips in this hour-long video of just them talking to each other is so confusing to me as someone who loves the initial videos, which were just them on a sofa. Then we have Sidemen One Question Go jumping on the KSI train, obviously, and it's not even 10% as good as the ones that are on his channel. Then we have Try Expensive versus Cheap Food. This is the most Sidemen video. Moving on. Then we have The Price is Right, the Sidemen edition. The one they made on More Sidemen is better than this, and that proves just how bad this video is. Then we have Sidemen buying one color for 24 hours. The buying is boring, and there's only one notable thing about this video, and that's Harry. And you're going to notice a lot of these things about the videos in this sort of area. These videos are bad, but there's one redeeming factor that's keeping it from the bottom. Then we have the Hot Tub Mukbang, jumping on the hot tub craze of Twitch, obviously. Yeah, it's about as soulless as those as well. Then we have the USA versus UK 40,000 calories challenge. Another very hard to follow video, and another boring one as well. Then we have turned 1 pound into 100,000 pounds. Again, redeeming factor is Harry, obviously. But again, this is about as offensive as the Sidemen Guess the Millionaire video. So think about it in that breath. And then finally, to close out the trash tier, as I like to call it, we have the Sidemen $100,000 hot versus cold mukbang. And the fact that Deji punching Harry within the first 2 minutes of this video is the most iconic thing out of it tells you everything you need to know. We now move to the below average tier. We kick off the below average tier with how we ended the trash tier, and that's with another mukbang. This time the world's most expensive mukbang, and copy paste what I said for the last one for this one. After that we have the Sidemen Silent Challenge, and again, the most iconic part of this video is the intro, and that tells everything you need to know about the rest of it. Then we have KSI versus the Sidemen, which I think you might rank higher if you like the content of Raka Raka, which I do not. That's why it ranks so low on mine. Next, we have Sidemen 20,000 real life bingo in lockdown. That's the main word though. in lockdown. Then you can understand why this video just genuinely has no content in it. Then we have who is the best Sidemen football player. You remember those videos they were making at Leyton Orient Stadium? It's like if you compiled a worse version of all of those videos into one mega video, and that's what you get with this one. Then is YouTube Awards 2018. The fact that this moved to more Sidemen for the next few years is again all the confirmation you need to know about the lack of content in this one. Only thing is, this one is twice the length of all of them. Then is Sidemen's Secret Santa, which again, copy paste what I said about the YouTube Awards. It's now a more Sidemen video with double the length on this one, on that one. Then we have the $20,000 A to Z eating challenge. There's so many parables going on here, and it just does not work again because it's so boring. Like, no one wants to go and count from A to Z in these challenges because it just does nothing. Then we have the impossible $100,000 foot golf challenge. This was supposed to be a more Sidemen video. He even says it in the video, and again, says everything about it. Next is the extreme Christmas cook-off. It's the exact same video as the last Christmas cook-off, which you'll see my thoughts of later on in this video. Oh wait, later on in this video, I meant right now, because the Sidemen Christmas cook-off, if I had to describe it, this is the Deji to the Sidemen's bake-off, if that makes sense in your head. Then we have Ryan Higa versus the Sidemen, the Ultimate Challenge. You're better off watching the KSI and miniminter edition of I Dare You, which in my opinion is a way better collab with the Sidemen and Ryan Higa. After this, we have giant football darts, boring. Next one really. Next we have the shocking try not to laugh challenge. It's a worse version of the original bad jokes video, which is one of the first official Sidemen Sundays. And it's trying to recapture that and just doesn't really do it successfully. Then we have Strangers Roast the Sidemen 2. I can pinpoint the exact issue with this video. The questions are just too general. The first one is a really good video, but this one just leaves it a lot up to interpretation. So you're not really getting the Strangers Roast the Sidemen. More you're just getting just general answers to the questions that are being posted. Then we have most weight lost, which again, you can just copy paste what I said about most weight gained over here. Harry is the saving grace, of course. Next we have Family Feud 2. This is the sequel, the long-awaited sequel of the Family Fortunes video that nearly broke the entire Sidemen and British YouTube scene. And yeah, it's just not as good as the first one. And it's blatantly obvious it's not nearly as funny as the first one. I mean, Lannon tries, man. Lannon tries his best, and it's just not enough, is it? Next, we have the Europe calorie challenge. Again, lacks really boring, really. It's a massive turn down from what was really one of the best runs of the Sidemen to that stage. Christmas mukbang is up next, which again, it's mukbang. It's what are you gonna get out of it? It's the exact same. At least it has KSI performing no sleep, right? And that's fun. That's quite fun. Then we have Read Mean Tweets 1. If you missed the video where I talk about why Mean Tweets 2 is not going to be on this list, at least this one's much shorter, so the racist comments don't really affect me as much. Then we have the other Christmas mukbang, which again, it's just almost the exact same video. If I'm talking about this in my ranking, I've given a score out of 10 to each of these. That's how I've ranked them. They're the exact same score. So really it's a sequencing issue, really. That's about it. Swap in any way you want them to. Then we have the $100,000 A to Z buying challenge. Copy paste what I said about the eating challenge. It's the exact same problems with this one. Then is the big fat quiz of the year. This should honestly just be an annual thing on more Sidemen at this stage, because you've run the course with this video. I understand it's a TV show and that's why they're doing it on the Sidemen channel, but you've run the course with it. You need to put it on more Sidemen. After this, we have Sports Day. It's a worse version of the Homemade Olympics. Really, that's about it. Then is Ice Dunk Tank Challenge. It's the extreme forfeit quiz, but slightly better because the questions are harder. So then the forfeits actually happen, unlike in the extreme forfeit challenge video where they're just getting pushed into the pool. We have another mukbang now. It's the $100,000 or $10,000 versus $100. At this stage, you can just swap the numbers. It's the exact same video. Then is the Sidemen one-word interview. And a lot of people like this video. But me personally, I just prefer the ones that are on Simon's channel. Then we have the Ultimate Football Challenge. It's a really below average Sidemen football video. And as someone who grew up on those videos, it's kind of disappointing. Sidemen Bowling. A lot of people will be surprised this is not lower on the list. But Harry. It's just Harry. Really, that's about it. He saves this video. Sidemen Cube. The Cube is next, which I think is the record for the most Sidemen to miss a shoot. And it shows. This is quite a depleted cast. Randolph tries his best, and surprisingly for a video hosted by Stephen tries, not as much humor as you would think there would be. A to Z calorie challenge. Copy paste what I said about the past two. Honestly, again, they're the exact same video. This one's slightly funnier because Harry's a little better in this one. Who wants to be a billionaire? This is the first hour plus Sidemen Sunday, and you can see the growing pains right away. It's a lot more boring than the past few that they were on. But hey, at least this is the first time they're spreading their wings, so this won't be in the trash as it usually would have been. Then is Total Wipeout Football. It reminds you that it took a long while for the Sidemen to become the powerhouse of videos that they are today. Then is Spend $100,000 in 1 hour challenge. This video is there to prove that the Sidemen don't always create bangers when they're not doing their $100,000 series. How fast can the Sidemen run? I feel this video would be a lot better if it was uploaded around about now, because I just don't like Drew Jordy. I just never really liked his commentary in general. Punishment Pool is next. The recent one is somehow better, but that does not justify this ever getting a second one. How did this get a second video before Countdown? It is bizarre to me. Then we have Break World Records. I mean, it's a W2S video, but it's like a lower tier W2S video at this stage. And now we have another really controversial one, because now I present in the below average tier the Sidemen Spelling Bee. I know what you're gonna say. I know it has some really funny moments. But then again, if you put the exact same joke and put it 10 times in a row, it would not be funny. Never mind putting it 30 times in a row and expecting it to be as funny as the first one. Because, God, this is like a hammer. It's just bending your head with how many times they're just overusing the same joke with JJ, and it's just never worked. It just never does. It's fine in its isolated clips, but then after that you have 30 minutes of video to go, and you're wondering when you're gonna get to the next 10-second clip that has been clipped out and put on shorts and has gone popular. That's a big rant on that, because after this we have Blind Dating 4, which is proof that if the Sidemen did not switch up the concept in the Punishment Blind Date, this series would have been so dead. They would have been stuck on Blind Date 20, that being the exact same video, and it would have been infuriating. Sidemen vs OnlyFans Olympics is next, and it is certainly a video. Certainly a video. Same thing can be said about Burn 70,000 calories in 24 hours. I prefer this one though, because at least gym videos are much better to watch than people eating food for an hour. Eating one color food is so low, considering the drinking one is much higher on this list. I'm surprised that this one was as boring as it was. Then we have the Extreme Bake Off. My main problem with this video being, look, Steven tries host it and he's funny. Joe Sugg is actually pretty good in this video, but it's too long. It is so long. It's an hour and a half, and it's so boring in that hour and a half. It's a worse version of the British Bake Off, which is so weird because that's nothing what I'd associate with the Sidemen. And to close out below average, we have the $80,000 calorie battle, which, again, you can sum what I said about the burning one. I prefer the exercise way more to the food challenge, and this one is the one that proves it, because you get a direct contrast with both of them, and one part of this video is really okay and is really bearable, and the other part you're just waiting to go to this other part, which is them burning calories. That's really my thoughts on it to close out the below average tier. And to close out part 1, we are just gonna run through what I like to call the mid tier. You wanna know why I call it the mid tier? Because all of these videos can practically be described like that. If there's something interesting to note about them, I will definitely do so. We start with James Charles' makeup tutorial, which, yes, is a video. It gets a lot of hate. It does, and for some reason, A big up Click didn't know that they were in a Sidemen Sunday before this. Completely forgot they were, in fact. But yeah, I think there's a potential good video here. This is not it though. Next, we have Monopoly in real life. After that, spend $100,000 on each other in 1 hour. Then is the drinking mukbang, which ranks a bit higher because it's at least slightly funny. Then we have spend $100,000 on fans, which again ranks higher because JJ and Tobi are the actual fun group. That's an actually good video. The rest is just kind of usual spending money. Then is women rate the most attractive sidemen. The two new videos where they do themselves and other YouTubers are much better versions of this video. We have the Whisper Challenge, which is the most more Sidemen video ever. But hey, it's at least funny. That's all I care about. Wheel of Fortune is next. After that is the Trivial Pursuit in real life, which has probably one of the coldest Sidemen moments of all time. But yeah, other than that, pretty much nothing. Total Wipeout is next. A video the fans really like. It has some funny bits, but again, other than that, it's quite a missable video. Then is Sumo Fight. Then is the Mr. Beast video, which, God, many people will be surprised that's not near the bottom. But then again, I'm not really offended by Mr. Beast's content. If you are, then you'd not like this video, which again, a lot of the Sidemen fans were definitely disappointed. If this was a disappointment list, this would be so much lower. But yeah, what do you expect? It's Sidemen and Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast is gonna create a formula because that's what his videos are, formulas. Then is the Sumo Olympics. Then is the initial You Laugh You Lose Bad Jokes video, which again, you can just flash back to what I said about the shocking, try not to laugh. It's a much better version of that video, but still not one of the best. Box of Lies is next. It's one of the most absurdist Sidemen Sundays. There's some really weird, bizarre moments in this one. And a part of me would like to rank this a lot higher than it is, but then again, there's just no real content in it. Then is Tipping Point. After that is the 1 versus 100 video. The second weakest link hosted by Vikk is next. After that is the Gogglebox video, which if this was just Harry and Ethan, this would be the best, one of the best Sidemen Sundays, because genuinely that part is so funny, it lifts up the entire video from the trash tier up to here. Then is Handcuffed for 24 hours. Again, they have sides of this where both sides are infinitely hilarious, but overall it's a video, and overall there's just not much video to be had in this. Football Fear Pong is next, followed by the $10,000 versus $100 Christmas Day, which again, I appreciate the effort to change the format of the time, but it just does not land in the way I would have liked it to. Extreme Punish Pool is next, which yes, is the second time they did this, and I'm surprised it even got a second time. But hey, it's better than the first one. What else do you want? Split or Steal is next, which again, mid-tier Sidemen game show. Then is the Outfit Challenge, which it's a 2 out of 3 because the final part of it just kind of ruins it because they just roam around the city. If it was just the first 2/3 of this video, it would be firmly in the good but not great tier. We then have the $100,000 calorie battle, which is the rematch of the 80,000 battle, and yeah, it's much better. Then we have 2019 and 2020's Big Fat Quiz of the Years. We have Eat Food from Different Countries. I think it's maybe because cooking videos are a very comfort watch to me. I really like watching them when I'm just doing general stuff. But I don't mind this one. I don't. Of that is the Extreme Sidemen Fear Pong. I have no problem in calling this the first truly good Sidemen Sunday. And then is the Yoga Challenge, which is the first appearance of Phil. We are now moving towards videos that actually have some memorable, nice things about them. We then have the 10,000 real life bingo. I feel that this could have been a much better video than what we got, but I do really like this version. Then we have the $70,000 in the 70,000 calories in lockdown, which the end group call, if that was it, man, this would be so much higher, because other than that, this video is just a general calorie challenge. The reunited mukbang is here. This I think is the highest ranked mukbang because again, it's just nice. It's nice to see them all back together. This is the first time the Sidemen reunite after lockdown, and just Ethan saying he missed all of them is just a really heartwarming moment. I just can't rank lower than this. Then is the punishment basketball video, which I'm a basketball fan. I obviously like this video at least slightly, which yeah, I do like it. Barbershop is next. Again, a video that should have been much better than it was, but then again, what we got wasn't as bad as it what could have been. Sidemen versus the Arsenal women's team, followed by the $100,000 extreme tag, which Tommy in it carries this video. I never thought I'd say that. As someone who really likes his vlog content, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to see that he has at least one moment on the Sidemen's Son. We then have the race across Europe, which should have been much better than it was. It's just, this and the UK one prove that even with $1 million concept, the content has to be good. And this one just isn't. After that is the first 20 versus 1. Another video you'll be surprised not to see much lower. But this is the Logan Paul edition. And just like his prime partner KSI, who we'll get to in the next edition, it's not as good as it could have been. And to close out video 1, we have the Sidemen abandoned in the desert. It's a bit slow to start with. That's the only reason it ranks so low. But when it gets going, it does get going. And that wraps video 1 of the 2-part series. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.